Hello and welcome to this week's weekly vlog. So yesterday I put out my final song for the Tales of the Lower series, which was the Zandalar song, and now I'm kind of like, what do I do? What do I do with my life? The whole series was so much fun to make, and just in case you're wondering, a couple of people commented on the words. The words are from an achievement in the World of Warcraft game called Tales of Zandalar, and the entirety of it was written by Sky Chandler. So I didn't play a part in the creation of the lyrics themselves. I just wrote the music for each piece. And it was, what's that other achievement called? What a Long Strange Trip It's Been. It was such a fun journey to come from somebody's first one and find out that there was like 14 more or however many, 13 more to do. And I had no idea. I just thought Somebody was the Tales of Zandalar in its entirety, but it wasn't. And it was just so much fun. And you know, it came at a really good time, this whole Tales of Zandalar series, because I just purchased a new sound library, which was in the Era series, which I love. I have the Era Medieval Legends, Celtic Era. I never know if it's Celtic or Celtic. And now the Dark Era. And the Dark Era sound library is what I used for the Tales of the Lower series, the drum loops and things like that. I mean, they were just so epic. They just tied in so well. So the Zandalar song that I released, I did post a little comment about like the inspiration behind it and why it's kind of it's not messy to me, because, and maybe to you guys if you've watched the entirety of the series, it all kind of makes sense. But if you just kind of listen to the Zandalar song, you'll probably be like, what the hell is she doing? This is all over the place. But what I was trying to do was to bring in the different feels from each lower. I used 4 styles throughout the Tales of Zandalar series, like an upbeat African happy Kragwa Torkali sound, and then I went down one of my favourite routes, which was discordant, eerie, dark. And then I went down the Kimball and Rezan type of sound, which is more sort of tribal, raw, earthy. And then I had the Paku sound, which was more almost leaning towards Celtic vibe, with maybe the flute, which kind of lent it to feel a little bit Chinese, which I wasn't going for that kind of oriental feel at all, but I do feel like maybe I strayed at times and ended up making it sound a little bit more kind of fitting for the Mr. Pandaria setting. So that the Zandalar, there was 4 verses and they each encompassed those genres. So you've got the first verse, which is the happy upbeat, the second verse, which is more sort of eerie, dark, discordant, the third verse, which is more tribal, earthy, and then the last verse, which is more Paku, Celtic sounding. So it makes sense if you listen to all of the Tales of Zandalar series and then end on Zandalar. So that's that. I am going to be putting all of these songs together and making one long song, and I'm going to put that on my Spotify and Amazon iTunes and all the online stores and stuff. So yeah, I'll probably do that later today. Another thing that I was hoping to do as well is to, I noticed on Wowhead when I was researching the Tales of Zandalar achievement, that you can actually submit videos to different pages, and so I'm going to go ahead and submit each of my Tales of Zandalar songs to the respective pages for the lower achievement. So hopefully, I mean, it would be lovely if I could have my videos linked on each one, so that when people go and they look up the achievement and they're trying to find out bits about it, and then they'll see the poem there that Sky Chandler wrote, and then they might see like a little corresponding video from myself of like a, you know, the journey of the music or whatever. But that would be pretty cool, so I'm going to also go ahead and submit them later, and fingers crossed, talons crossed, they'll accept them. So in other music news, I did plan to sit down last week. I mentioned it in my last Q&A/vlog last Monday. I was gonna work on my lyrics to my BlizzCon song, and I didn't do it because I ended up just doing the Zandalar song, and that kind of took up 2 days. I tweeted about how I was overworking a song, and I really was overworking it. And as someone who mixes a lot, when you do something a lot, whether it's like, you know, painting, mixing music, whatever, you become a perfectionist. And I kept hearing things that I'm sure that just fresh ears, general listening, you won't pick it up. But I kept hearing things like a slight volume increase in places that didn't make sense on this Zandalar song, and there was a distortion at one point with the drums competing with the other instruments, and it didn't matter what I did, I couldn't get this distortion to go. But then I'd listen to it again and I couldn't hear the distortion. I was overworking the song. I was adding in lots of extra vocals, extra background melodies that didn't need to be there. So I spent like 2 days just really stressing the fine details of Zandalar, and ended up kind of stripping it back like I always do. I always find that when I write music, I always tend to start off with the epic swell of the chorus, and then I end up stripping it completely back, and that turns out to be like my verse, and then I'll go into my chorus and make that more of an epic swell. But so last week I really just focused on the Rezan song, and it was Patreon rewards week on Monday because it was the 1st of April. So I released everything to my patrons that I've worked on the previous month, and so I didn't get around to doing my BlizzCon song, and I don't know why. I think it's a song that has, for me, it feels like there's a lot of pressure behind it. So I'm struggling to load up the project file, if that makes sense. I just need to, once I've loaded up the project file, get a cup of coffee, sit and just do it, just work on it. I know it will be okay. But as it stands at the moment, there's something stopping me from doing it. So I need to just get on with it and do it. So this week I am planning on doing the BlizzCon song, getting it tidied up, getting it finished. And next week Ian's off work, so I'm probably going to take like quite a lot of the week to just like hang with him and have fun, and not do anything musical. Give my voice a rest and give my brain a rest, because doing like 15 or 14 original pieces of music in a month, I need to like stop and let my brain rest and have some like you know, just spur of the moment inspiration and motivation. So I will take that next week. But yeah, that's pretty much it for what's happening. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend, and I will see you no, I won't see you next Monday because I'm not vlogging. I'll see you April the 22nd, Monday, Easter Monday, Earth Day. I will see you then. So have a wonderful fortnight, have a happy Easter, and I will see you in a couple of Mondays' time. Bye!